What's your badge number, by the way? Hey guys, I'm here at the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department. I decided this time it was time to bring it onto their turf because I've been patiently awaiting a FOIA request. Oh, let me just take it out of this thing. Stand by for a second. I had it in the gimbal, but it's low on battery. All right. Here behind me, got the Sheriff's Department. It also doubles as the Lafayette County Detention Center. I'm up here for two purposes, actually. I'm up here because I've been patiently awaiting a FOIA request that, through their own admission, they have 7 days to comply with, which is a good thing, being that I'm down to 2 weeks left before the statute of limitations runs. I have requested the recorded phone call from the May 24th mysterious phone conversation that came in to investigator Jared Bundren here at the Sheriff's Department. No information on who it was that called. It was a very sloppy investigation that was done because there was no evidence. Alan Wilburn, can I get an interview, please, sir? No? All I want. I've literally, okay, if I can't get a special counsel investigation into this and the sloppy corruption that's been going on, then I'm going to conduct my own special counsel investigation myself. And that's what I've kind of been doing here lately. I've literally, what I thought was the holy grail of evidence, I've continued to stay in it, get a little bit closer, and have uncovered more and more as time goes on. Hey, Robin. I want an answer from these people as to why they're so easily obstructing justice. They admitted through a public record request. I've done many of them, and through just one of them, it was admitted that a call came in fielded by investigator Jared Bundren on May 24th. They gave me a doctored up police report. I wanted the initial report. What caused the warrant to get cut for my arrest with absolutely no evidence? Zero evidence. And they gave me a doctored up police report that was written on the 30th of May and just so happened to be a start-to-end narrative of everything. No. I want the initial police report. There was a report that was done when the investigation commenced. Okay? There was a phone call that they admitted to that they received on the 24th of May, 2017. They will not comply with that FOIA request to produce the records of that call. I also did a FOIA on every police report filed by my ex, Liz Crowder, over the last 7 years. Every. Not just against me, but every. Because I want to see what all is out there that I don't know about. And I want to see if there's a pattern here. Like I have a feeling there is. But they're not complying. They're not giving me the records that they told me they would comply with. They're not giving me information on the initial report. They're not giving me the recorded phone call. They're clearly trying to protect somebody here. They don't want the cat out of the bag. So I'm here for that purpose. I'm also here for another purpose. And that is, I hope I see Detective or Investigator Jared Bundren, because I'd like to show him the correct way to conduct an investigation. I'm not even in law enforcement. I'm just out to vindicate myself. And all the proof that I've gathered is unbelievable. It's undeniable. So I'm standing outside. As you can see, you've got a sign up that says no recording on the inside, no videotaping. I was in this very place from May 26, 2017. 4 days later, the 30th was coincidentally the day that that doctored up police report that they gave me was written up. Also, it was the same day. It's the same day I got the $150,000 bond. After the sheriff's investigator met with crooked judge Carolyn Bell, who needs to be thrown off the bench quick, fast, and in a heartbeat. No way does she ever need to be giving bonds. Especially for felony charges. God, the woman's so ass backwards. There's a guy accused of rape. She set a $10,000 bond on. There's a guy that was accused of manslaughter. She set a $10,000 bond on. And you know, if it was applied equally across the board, cool. If I would have gotten a $10,000 bond, cool. I would have been out the same day. Judge Bell never had any business on a bench. I'll tell you one thing I found out about Mississippi, and that is that a justice court judge, and it is surprising how much power these people have. A justice court judge is not required to have a law degree. And I think that's absolutely ludicrous, especially when you read into it further to find out that a justice court judge doesn't even have to really have a high school diploma. All they have to do is be elected. And so you have people that are like Carolyn Bell, never had any business presiding over anything. Got another one that just pulled up. Timmy Pruitt, can I get an interview from you, sir? I would like to ask you a question or two about May 1st, 2017, everything that transpired since then. Public records request. Y'all are required to comply with them. 7 days is the time span. Timmy Pruitt was the one that arrested me May 1st, 2017 in front of the Confederate statue. I was standing there peacefully. I wasn't causing any ruckus. I was standing there with my feet shoulder width apart, holding the state flag of Mississippi. I was asked if I had a permit to be there, and I said I had the First Amendment. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I took an oath back in 2007 at the end, in December, to uphold and defend the Constitution. No city ever has the right to create laws that directly clash with the Constitution. The Constitution is the law of the land. So people need to be reminded that sometimes, especially here. Look, I'm in no way here saying that all cops are bad. There are lots of good cops. Lots. And what's really sad is that the good cops, oh, too often you see their hands tied on matters because they're following orders so that they don't get reprimanded themselves, don't get in trouble themselves. So they have to enforce, or they think they have to enforce sham bullshit laws created by a sham bullshit board of aldermen and mayor that don't give a shit about the constitutional rights of their constituents. Prime example being last night. Oh, there's two of them. Alan Wilburn. That was another one of the thugs up here. He threatened my wife with arrest for obstruction of justice if she changed my Facebook password or email password that I'd given her to gather the information to show that I was innocent and that the state had absolutely nothing to go off of. These people hate my guts, folks. But they really have no right to. Because see, all I'm doing is I'm trying to hold the real criminals here accountable, responsible for slaughtering my rights, for giving me a bond that there was no way I could have posted. Completely unfair. I think it was like 20 times outside of the guidelines for it. I was presumed guilty until proven innocent. Although, so there's one thing. They knew that I was really involved in my daughter's life, my 2-year-old daughter at the time. And these people used that. They ultimately weaponized the court, using an innocent 2-year-old daughter, innocent 2-year-old child, to essentially forcefully twist my wrist. Yeah, I know. And a $10,000 bond to somebody that shot and killed somebody by accident in the Burger King parking lot. She's crooked as they come. Probably the easiest to get to in the local government. So, to add insult to injury, Deputy Timmy Pruitt, can I get a response from you? Timmy Pruitt. Can I get a response? Look at them. They're just obstructionists. They're obstructionists. They're complete asinine obstructionists. And I'm telling you folks, we've got to get these people out. We have got to get these people out. They are destroying our fundamental rights as society. These are public servants paid with your tax dollars. If this is allowed to stand with me, running out of time, being up against the clock, don't have the help of any attorney, I'm doing it on my own. This is a modern day David versus Goliath. The FBI is obstructing in the same exact way. The FBI having all proof. I couldn't have committed the crime in question. And this is all at the time where General Michael Flynn was framed by the FBI where the Obama administration was trying to unmask him from an illegal wiretap campaign. Tell me why the FBI will not even respond, will not comply, and producing the 302 report from a sit-down meeting with them May 25th, 2017, when I had a death threat made against me. And I also had a restraining order put on me to essentially bar me from coming to City Hall. I was on the board minutes to speak out, to petition the government for a redress of grievances. Met with them about those two things. The FBI has not even assigned it a case number. They haven't even opened it up. I've had 4 conversations with them between their field office and between down in Jackson, as well as their headquarters. And I've had 2 calls that have led me to believe, through what they said, that my 302 has been destroyed. I won't say destroyed, but it's gone. It's missing. Here's another one. Let's get him again. Alan Wilburn, I need a response from you. Why are you a coward? Why are you a coward? Why are y'all cowards? Why are y'all cowards? I'm saying I would like to, I'm trying to ask you.
I said no to an interview.
You said no to.
Now back away from my truck.
You do realize you're a public servant, right? Jared Bundren. Hey, I'm here to show you how to conduct a proper investigation. I would like to, do you have a minute?
No, I don't.
You don't? You received a call on May 24th, 2017. I would like the details of that call. Jared, I put in a public records request. Why are y'all not complying with the public records request? It's ridiculous, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. They're all running. They won't answer They won't produce any evidence of the call that they claimed on their public records request, or on the public records request, the public record that they sent me. I'm here to get the truth. I'm not here if they would just comply. If they would do what they have to do in producing public records, this wouldn't be an issue. Talk to me something. See, these people know that they're guilty of sin. And when the dominoes start to fall, I'd love to say that we'd see some go to prison where they belong. Unfortunately, just like Hillary Clinton, who never sees a criminal indictment, these people are protected by the local government. And it's a shame. It's an absolute shame. How can you stand by and witness this stuff and know that they're holding back information that will, any reasonable doubt, exonerate me? Examine the facts and the details of everything. But I've got to figure out the answer on why they're keeping that public record away from me. Who is it that they're trying to protect? Because I'm going to tell you, the way they're acting, I see it only one of two ways. I guess there's a possible third. This is all a quid pro quo plot that protected four individuals. Timmy Pruitt, who you saw wouldn't take any questions, that arrested me, put all the liability on the county. You had the incoming mayor and her husband, that's the attorney. You had the owners of Frank and Marley's, Todd and Ashley Lynch, where Ashley threw out my chicken wings that I'd paid cash for, and I left the bar calling for a boycott, and that just turned into, I just had fun with that. Wasn't bothered by it in the least bit as far as they're hating on me. So that's three. And then you have the fourth, which is the person in the very beginning, the mother of my child. My now almost 6-year-old child that I haven't seen since January. She got to see her newborn baby sister one time at Le Bonheur Hospital prior to me taking her back to her mom. And I posted the last video that I did with her January 18th on the Facebook page. This is organized kidnapping. In fact, it's risen. This has risen to the level of criminal racketeering. These people are like the mob. They don't care how many lives they destroy. They don't care whose life they destroy. It gets in their way. This accomplished 4 goals. And they will not give up who was on that call. Who called on the 24th? Was it the mayor? Was it her husband? Very good chance one of the two. Is it possible that it was nobody? That no call ever came in on the 24th? and that this was a closed doors, handshake deal. So I'm trying to figure out, because I can prove without any doubt that I was innocent. I couldn't possibly have committed the crime. And now these criminals that are supposed to be protecting us are hiding evidence, obstructing, quite possibly destroying evidence. And got the FBI that's destroying evidence, not complying. How you doing, officer?
Hey man, what's up?
Hey man, I've been trying to get Timmy Pruitt to talk to me, Alan Wilburn to talk to me.
Okay.
Jared Bundren is really who I would love to speak with.
Okay.
I would like to show him a thing or two on how to conduct an investigation properly, because he did a shitty job of it framing me. Here's the thing. I've done a public records request.
Okay.
I've done several, actually. I'm doing Writing with the Outlaw. It's a
sir.
documentary on everything from 2017. And Joey East even said, this last time he told me that because of Writing with the Outlaw, that's why they weren't wanting to comply, which I know is bullshit. Public record is public record.
Mm-hmm.
He said, submit it again and y'all comply. Well, I submitted it probably 12 days ago,
Okay.
10 days. They won't respond to me.
Okay.
They're clearly trying to cover.
Yes, sir.
I mean, basically at this point, how in-depth the obstruction goes.
Okay.
Do I have any ability to file any criminal charges against these officers? Or are they protected by
Look, I'll tell you like I tell anybody else in situations like that to seek legal advice. So.
Well, I'm
can't-
my own attorney.
Okay. Well, I can't. I mean, I'm just gonna have to tell you them to do the research because I don't know what to tell you about that, Mr. Reardon.
Yeah.
So I've actually got somewhere I got to be in a few minutes. I'm headed to a call, so I hate to run off on you like that.
Well, I'm trying to also.
Somebody will get with you.
Yeah.
I promise you that. I mean, we're here for everybody.
Sure.
So just give them time. I mean,
I'm
I know
not.
it's been
They wouldn't even. I would not even be an issue to these guys if they would just comply and quit obstructing.
Okay.
And that's the thing, is they're obstructing.
Yep.
And
Well,
the FBI is obstructing.
okay.
It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, let me get to this other call, man, and I'll hopefully somebody will be with you before too long.
I need to get the visitation log also, so I was going to try to go in there and see if I could request that. This stuff, it needs to get out there, because the only people, when the very agencies tasked with preventing this type of nonsense are part of the problem, then what do you do? What do you do at that point? When you have the sheriff's department that won't comply with a public records request, that is obstructing justice, keeping evidence from coming forward, the FBI that's destroying a 302, not producing it. I can't say with certainty that they destroyed the 302, but I can say with certainty that they were unable to locate it in their system. Here's the damn ironic part. If it came to somebody trying to get a gun, you know damn well that they got an ironclad system that would bar that person from being able to purchase a gun. That report wouldn't show up missing. Only a report that was politically adverse to them from everything that came out back in 2017. Not to mention it showing neglect on behalf of the FBI for standing around their hand in the cookie jar. It's sickening. Sickening. I mean, this is an all-out attack on my rights, and they are clearly trying to shovel this shit underneath the table. Let the next agency know to shovel it under the table at the expense of my rights. I've got, just from them not producing the documents, from them refusing to cooperate on the public records request, the FOIA, that gives me grounds right there to file a federal lawsuit, have a federal judge order its release, and that's what I'm going to do. See, they made me sign a covenant to not sue. Lafayette County, the Sheriff's Department, the City of Oxford, the elected officials and employees of each. Sheriff Buddy East, any of his appointed officers, the Lynches. Why is it so important to make me sign a covenant to not sue? These agencies, the local government. If this wasn't an all-out just attack. They wanted to wage war on me and my rights. So war it is. It's personal to me now. The proverbial last straw broke when, for the final time, my almost 6-year-old daughter was played like a chess piece to obtain a favorable outcome for the local government, to twist my hand, my wrist, because they knew I'm too strong-willed to back down. It's going to take something extra. Hey, who knows that best or better than the incoming mayor, her husband, who was my ex's attorney. I'm out here pleading for help. I can do it on my own. I've gathered enough on my own. But I'm also dealing with agencies that'll go to any extent to cover their own ass, to cover up evidence that would exonerate me and prove that this is a setup, a staged setup from the beginning. Don't think for 1 second that these people aren't highly dangerous. And would love to go to any extent to make sure that they stay protected from the criminal acts that I'm pointing out and that ultimately I see them getting caught up in. My name is Matthew Reardon. All of this transpired in Oxford, Mississippi. Earlier today, a couple hours ago, I put a call in to the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation. They're the only other agency that I know that can help outside of Washington. Like, this is a nightmare I can't wake up from, folks. Every agency. You have the state and you have the feds that don't have a sliver of proof of the claims they made. And it's so reckless the way they act. This is not a police accountability project for just some bullshit. I'm trying to gather evidence before my clock runs out, to show that these people frame me. And they could care less. They're satisfied with their intent on destroying my rights forever. My life has been completely destroyed. It's my biggest worry what's to stop these same people? What's to stop it from setting precedents to where these same people could come after you next for political purposes or personal gain? There's nothing. Absolutely nothing. And remember this. I was banished from Lafayette County in Oxford for the term of my supervised probation. I was coerced to plead out to a crime I couldn't have committed. The attorney said there was no other way. He said that, if you don't take this, that they're going to railroad you with other charges to get a guaranteed conviction to get you gone. One way or the other, get you gone. Either in prison or you take a banishment. They banished me for a 5-year supervised probation term that I got off at 2.5 years. Remember this phrase. When freedom is outlawed, only the outlaws will be free. I don't mind being an outlaw at all. I don't mind wearing it on my shirt. Now I've got to get in here and see what I can figure out on requesting even more public records. They didn't comply with the first ones or with these last ones. So now I'm going to go request more. And let's see if they continue to obstruct. I think the Lafayette County Sheriff's Department probably needs to receive a few phone calls. In fact, I'd love to hear that phone line go crazy while I'm inside right now. I think the number is 662-234-6421. Let them know what you think about that. Take care. Look, these people may feel bothered because I'm out here and all I'm asking for is for them to do the right thing. I'm asking for a little bit of transparency. Not a little bit, I'm just asking for transparency. Especially on a document that says that Sheriff's Investigator Jared Bundren received a phone call on May 24th, 2017, which was what led to my framed charge of being charged with aggravated stalking, saying that on or before May 8th, 2017, that I put the Lynches in fear of their life with an AR-15 that I didn't purchase until May 20th. The affidavit no shit reads that on or before May 8th that I put them in fear of their life at their residence, which I have no clue where they could even possibly live. Don't care. I met with Joey East, sheriff over here at Lafayette County, almost 2 weeks ago. And it was then that the sheriff told me that the reason why they weren't complying on the public records request for that document, or for that recorded phone call, was because it was making them look bad. That riding with the outlaw was making them look bad. Not trying to make them look bad. But we need to get the corrupt actors the hell out. I simply want the information that proves, A, who was behind making that call on May 24th. Who was it? Because from what I've already gathered, from the public documents, from the public request, this was a sham to silence me, to get me gone. Look at the restraining order. The petition for restraining order that was filed by Ray Tannehill on behalf of Robin Tannehill, with Robin Tannehill's sworn affidavit. It is so disgustingly written, talking about I mounted an aggressive online campaign. Did the judge even read the restraining order? Or was it that he had so much sway that whatever he wrote, they would just sign off on? Is it maybe the fact that people generally don't request these documents to actually see what was written? How you doing, Deputy?
Good, how you doing, Matt?
Good. I'm looking for Joey East.
He's right here somewhere.
I know. This truck's right there.
I didn't see him in the office, but he's in there somewhere.
I got you. I would like to speak to him. If you happen to see him, I would like to speak with him. I need to get the answer to something on my arm. I need to get the answer to a few questions.
Okay.
So, all right. Joey East. How you doing, sir?
What are you doing out here in the parking lot?
I needed to get a little Q&A with you.
I don't do Q&As.
You don't do Q&As?
No.
Well, can you answer a few questions for me?
No, I can't.
Why is the county not wanting to comply on the public records request? You told me.
You probably have to ask the county, man.
You told me that if I submitted it, y'all would comply. That was the last time that we spoke.
I told you we'd look at it.
You said no. You said that we will comply. You said submit it and we'll comply. Why haven't I gotten?
Matthew.
Why haven't I gotten the? Really, Sheriff, is this really the position you're going to take? Why won't you even answer that?
Ambushes, so.
Look, hey, y'all will not respond to anything, any email, any public records request, anything. I want to know why. I am holding our county officials accountable for this. You know I was framed. We've already had that discussion, Joey.
You plead guilty?
You know I was framed.
You need to plead guilty?
Huh? That was one of your ringleaders right there.
Plead guilty, Matt?
That was one of your ringleaders right there.
Matt, did you plead guilty?
You know that y'all coerced me.
Did you plead guilty?
Y'all coerced me under stress and used my daughter.
I did?
No, the Tannehills did, is who really did it.
Let me ask you something. Did you plead guilty? Did you plead guilty?
I followed
That's
the
a fair
sham
question for riding
advice.
with the outlaw.
Okay, who are you trying to protect? Is it that
Nobody.
there's no call that came in, or is it that there's somebody like Robin Tannehill or Ray Tannehill that's on that call? I want to know.
Did you plead guilty?
Who's on the call?
Did you have an attorney? And did you
Who's
plead
on the
guilty?
call?
I don't know
Was
what
there a
you're
call
talking
or was
about,
there not a
man.
call?
I don't know what call
It was,
you're talking
but it
about.
was on the police report
think
that I
you
got
probably
from May
need to go-
30th.
Whatever medicine you're off, I think you need to go
Really?
take some medicine or something.
Really?
Because I don't understand what you're talking about.
The response of the
You
sheriff.
pled guilty.
The
You
response of the sheriff.
I got you something, man.
Oh, really?
You saying, dude, that's so
Get away from me with that cupcake.
Keystone.
That bullshit.
Come on, man. That's ugly. That's ugly. Keystone, man.
Y'all are
Keystone.
corrupt as you can be.
Keystone.
Corrupt as you can
You're
be.
so angry. What you angry about,
I'm
man?
pissed off. Y'all violated my fucking rights.
Man, come on. Take the cupcake.
And if that's been you that's been driving by my wife's family's house, you better fucking stop it, Scott.
Really? I've been driving by where?
It's been a black truck that's been driving by and stopping outside of the house.
Be careful now. You'll be back in my house here.
You're the one stalking me if that's you. I said if that's you.
You ain't seen
I said
me
if
nowhere.
that's you.
No, sir. Alan just heard you say it was me coming by your house. Be careful.
No, I said if that was you. I got it on live
Be
stream.
careful. Y'all know
Threaten
you
me
done it.
again.
I want you
Y'all
to
are
take the
corrupt as a
cupcake.
son of a bitch.
Keystone.
Man, shut the
Keystone, kilo, whatever.
Hey, I got what I needed. I needed answers as to why y'all are obstructing justice. Y'all are refusing to comply with a FOIA request as you've got to. Look at this. Look at this.
And make an appointment. And why are you ambushing?
What? Okay, why did you threaten my wife with arrest for obstruction of justice
I don't know what you're talking
if she
about.
changed the password on my Facebook or email?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You calling her a
But
liar?
You should come.
You calling her a liar?
You should come to the front door.
Are
and
you
talk
calling
to the
her a
sheriff
liar?
Like a man.
Look.
You should
A
come to the
lot
front door and talk to
of
sheriff
the
like a
officers
man.
out here are great, I'm sure. But you know what? Their corrupt leadership is going to be the downfall of them. Their corrupt leadership is going to be the downfall of all the good officers.
Come to the front door and make an appointment and talk to the sheriff instead of ambushing.
See you, Sleepy.
See ya.
Y'all see what I'm talking about? That's the bullshit I'm having to deal with, trying just to get the information needed to vindicate myself. Is that right? Because the sheriff has gone to all extents to avoid me and not answer a damn question, such as why you're not complying on a federal records request. Y'all are a joke. Hey, I hope you enjoy prison, okay? Hey, Timmy, why don't you come on over here? You were the start of everything back at May 1st. Come on over here, Timmy. Quit cowering behind the bush. Quit cowering behind the bush, Timmy. Come on.
Hey, y'all bring my cupcake down there.
Y'all are the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life. Hey, Timmy. Arrest me May 1st, 2017. This is where the chain of events started. Timmy Pruitt making an arrest, an unconstitutional arrest, May 1st, 2017. Because I was standing in front of the statue, the Confederate statue, on county property, wasn't bothering anybody. I wasn't loud. It was me by myself. I was holding the state flag of Mississippi, and he pulls up asking if I had a permit to be there. Being a Marine Corps veteran that took an oath to uphold and defend our Constitution, the hell do I need a permit for? I'm on public property. So I told him I had the First Amendment. He said, if you don't have a permit issued by the city, you got to go. I said, why do I have to go? He said, because you're going to go to jail if you don't. I was recording this video. I said, all right, I'm going to leave. I'm going to take this video straight to my attorney. You don't have the right to threaten me with my First Amendment rights. I had a few select words to say about the city of Oxford and their sham requirement that was unconstitutional. Because one person is not a protest, regardless. There's me standing there on public property holding the state flag of Mississippi that the city decided to drop. Timmy Pruitt wasn't wearing his badge, and Timmy Pruitt, I took about 7 steps off. I turned around to ask him what his badge number was. He let his emotions get the best of him, and he placed me under arrest. That video went viral on Courtroom. They picked it up. I didn't even send it to them. They picked it up. Made the city and the county look horrible. They had to put Timmy Pruitt on administrative leave. Look, I just looked at the comments right here, okay? I've been harassed just for simply trying. I don't have an attorney helping me. I have no law enforcement agencies tasked with preventing this type of stuff that are helping me. So you're damn right I'm infuriated. You've got corrupt acting law enforcement supervisors that are refusing to comply with public records requests because they don't want the truth coming out. Like, what's wrong with America? What's wrong with any of you that actually can step in for 1 second and say, I shouldn't have been absolutely irate? That you wouldn't be absolutely irate right now. To know from the beginning that you were innocent. That there's been a black truck that's been driving by our house and even stopping in the road outside of our house. These same supervisors allow leftists to commit and get away with crimes on a daily basis. It's just an atrocity. We need to evaluate as a whole society and where it's gone to. Are you happy with it? Are you happy that your constitutional rights, your unalienable rights, are being trampled upon? That the Constitution is being steadily chiseled away? Because the first time that any constitutional right is tossed to the side and looked at as not important, well, that's the very moment that all are looked at as not important. Precedents. Established precedents is what this is about. What we have, the freedoms that we enjoy in America. So that's what my point is, Dennis. In America. I enjoy living in a free nation. I enjoy living in a nation that's governed by the Constitution. I enjoy all the rights afforded to us as citizens by the Constitution. What I don't enjoy is where society is headed today. I'm not out here saying all of them are corrupt. That is not my place. Because I know they're good officers. I know that same thing goes. What do you know? Isn't that a coincidence? They set the car alarms off to drown me out. Uh-oh. sheriff's cars too. And me just trying to simply, hold on. And it's very clear that they're hiding something. They don't want the truth to come out. That's all I got for you. Take care.
Sheriff's Woman.
Hey, April, is Alan Wilburn nearby?
Hello?
Alan Wilburn.
Yes.
Matt Reardon.
Okay.
Hey, I'm outside. I was gonna see if you had that evidence.
I do not, because your case has been, you pled guilty, so all that stuff is in a file, and we know we no longer look back at it.
You do realize the burden of proof shifts to you if I bring a lawsuit for your libelous comments, correct? Scott! Hey, come here, I gotta show you something. What's up, buddy? What's going on? I do. What do you think about the fraud over there at Circuit Court?
The what?
The fraud at Circuit Court.
What are you talking about, fraud?
So, I caught them changing records. Up there. Luckily, I had the screenshots. Uh-oh.
I have the sunlight. There you go.
A lot of stuff going on in Oxford, a lot of stuff going on in Lafayette County.
Son, you back full strength. Now you're getting the car.
We are reminded that freedom ain't free. It comes with a price tag. Yeah, you know who it is. Might been cold for a little while. Keystone Kid, Kilo Jones, Ascot Mills, why they call me the outlaw.
I don't want to hear that
All the
shit.
time, reminded bribes, slow blow, racketeer, paid for play, you filthy Democrat. Another one, just for fun, I think it's him, he's back again. Oh shit, it's Matt.
Hey, Scott, Alan, how you gonna tell me you destroyed the evidence, but you're gonna lie to the Oxford Eagle? You're gonna lie to the Oxford Eagle and then tell me you destroyed the evidence? How you gonna lie to the Oxford Eagle and then destroy the damn evidence? You didn't lie when you said that I threatened their life. You didn't lie to them when you said that I threatened their life. You didn't lie to them when you said I steadily drove by. I'm the liar.
Go get you a job, son.
I'm the liar. Okay, where's the evidence to back up your frivolous, silly, lame-ass claims? Huh?
You had a court time, but you found guilty. Go
Okay,
get a job.
but you said that I steadily drove by their place and put them in fear of their life. You're a joke. You're a damn joke. Man, let your life get destroyed over some just fake-ass lies like that. Hell no, I ain't letting it go. You wouldn't let it go. Marine Corps veteran, I wrote a blank check to our government for an amount of my life to protect and defend the Constitution against shit like that.
If I didn't have court on my case, it's over with.
No, that's the thing. I got the evidence that this is a framed crime against me. And y'all think it's just a joke.
I don't think it's
That's why you just looked away smiling?
No, I'm trying to make sure all this cursing that you're doing, that nobody's out in the parking lot while you're doing all the cursing.
Write me a ticket.
No, that's a recipe for profanity.
So that's what it's about now? Y'all want to you want to make it worse
No.
than it's already been. I've already lost my economic opportunity. I've been attacked 10 ways to Sunday, and then you want to talk about I shouldn't be mad?
I ain't gonna say you shouldn't be mad.
Y'all come out here as a crew. Not one of you truly understand what it's like. I found fraud at circuit court. They're changing records. They're steadily trying to cover up, play cover up. He's destroying evidence. Indisputable. It's indisputable. There's fraudulent concealment going on. They're not, I mean, the May 24th phone call, which is what Jared Bundren got the warrant from. Nobody will tell me who made the call. I know it came from the top. That's why, because honestly, the covenant to not sue, Lafayette County, the Sheriff's Department, all that, the county would have been perfectly fine had they not have fraudulently concealed and refused to produce the information requested on a public information request, which was that. Now the covenant to not sue is kind of out the window, because now I have a reason to sue. Until they did that, I was kind of stuck by the covenant to not sue they made me sign. So it has to be somebody really important that made the call, and all evidence points to the Tannehills. See, the funny thing is, 22nd they took out an injunction on me. I get hunted down on the 23rd, 24th, mysterious phone call comes in. The 25th I meet with the FBI. They will not produce the 302 request from the sit-down meeting on the 25th. 26th I get ambushed. I'm supposed to get 48 hours in jail before I get a bond hearing. I'm held for 96. Nobody's given any kind of explanation for that.
Hold on, without 96 days without a bond?
96 hours, so 4 days. 4 days. You have to go before a judge within 2. It was 4 days before I went before a judge. Judge Bell, Carolyn Bell, she refused to let me address the court to show that I had a bill of sale proving I didn't purchase the AR-15 until May 20th. They allege on or before May 8th. I used that AR-15 to put the lynches in fear of their life. But I was going to their bar every day pretty much up until the 19th of May. Why would I put them in fear of their life? I don't even know where they live. And then, I mean, it's the craziest witch hunt ever. It's destroyed my life over lies.
Well, none of us out here personally worked on your case.
No, I know.
So we don't know anything about your case as far as that goes.
I just want to find answers. I'm doing my due diligence as afforded to me by my rights in order with the few rights I have left, in order to seek vindication and to hold the responsible parties accountable that are the true criminals. Because I'm going to tell you, if they could do it to me, if the government could do it to me, a Marine Corps veteran who, pledged a lifetime oath to our country to protect and defend it, they could do it to anybody. And that's the scary part. They do it to somebody that freaking pledged their life to our country. I was a airframe and hydraulic mechanic. I was, unfortunately, I never deployed. I was in a non-deployable squadron. It was VMAT 203. It was 4 years. From the end of 2007 was when I joined in December, and I got out in 2011. I got out for alcohol rehabilitation failure. There were 2 gruesome suicides. One of them it was June. It was at Camp Devil Dog, the Marine combat training that I was in. That was the last time that they allowed live rounds on Armory Watch. The dude found out that his girlfriend back home was deer johning him, and
you went to rehab, or what you say?
Yeah, I went to rehab while I was in the Marine Corps, and then after rehab, they had strict orders for me not to drink, and
you ain't under any influence right now.
Fuck no, hell no.
I know you got your glasses on.
Huh. Do I sound like I'm under the influence? Am I making any kind of weird movements like I'm under the influence? I mean, I think you would be pretty pissed off. Like I said, put yourself in my shoes for a second. I'm trying to find out why. The Oxford Eagle article, there were millions of splinters sent through this area based on lies. Alan Wilburn's in the Oxford Eagle article saying that I would drive by their place and I threatened their life multiple times. Yet There's no proof. I never once threatened anybody. I've always claimed to be a patriot. I would never put anybody in harm's way. I would protect innocent people, my family, myself. That would be the only time I would engage somebody. But, I mean, I just simply want to know, where's his proof for saying that? How's he going to give? He's been doing this stuff for long enough. He should know better. He should use the word allegedly. Okay, in something that's currently going on, the word allegedly. You don't actually say in fact something to the media unless you actually have proof. And he knows that. And I'm asking him for his proof because that's what a lot of people are going on and spreading their lies, and he doesn't have it. Imagine your name just freaking ripped to shreds. And you got Sleepy right here.
All right, how are you? See, Matt, this is where when you were being tried for the crime.
I wasn't tried. Look, that's what I was trying to tell you. Judge Bell gave me a $150,000 bond, okay, 4 days after I was arrested, knowing that I couldn't afford that, okay?
Did you go to court?
No.
You didn't go to court.
I sat in jail for 6 weeks. I kept trying to get a bail reduction hearing. The guidelines established by the Supreme Court say for a crime up to 10 years. And
So
see,
you weren't on
aggravated...
probation or anything
Huh?
for nothing.
No.
You wasn't on
I was given 5 years. I was given 5 years supervised probation. Yeah.
Your attorney could have filed for a
probation.
motion of discovery.
He didn't. That's my attorney was part of the problem. That's why I'm so angry. My attorney was part of the problem. He told me to if I didn't plea out, that they were going to throw the book at me. They were going to railroad me with a whole bunch of other charges, made-up charges, to get a guaranteed conviction so they could send me to Parsons. And so I could either plea out and take the banishment and leave Oxford and Lafayette County for 5 years, surrender my guns. My daughter lives over here, and she's been used as a wedge of the court the entire time. She was used as a wedge of the court then to manipulate a favored outcome.
What did you do?
Huh?
What did you do?
What did I do?
Did you plea out or anything?
Yeah. I took the advice of my attorney because I wasn't getting a bond reduction hearing. A presumably innocent person sitting in jail for 6 weeks, not given the opportunity to get a bond that he could afford to get out. The same.
It sounds like you need to be going to talk to your attorney, like this lieutenant said. You need to be going to consult with your attorney.
But there's
about
people in this county. No, my attorney is part of the problem. He's the most corrupt thing of all. I don't have anything to do with it.
Well, hire you another one and get him to go talk to
With
him.
what money?
Well, coming up here harassing our...
Harassing?
Yeah,
No.
that's
What has happened to me? What has happened to me has been complete, absolute hell. And so what I'm doing is what I'm constitutionally allowed to do.
Matt, the North Mississippi Rural Legal Service.
Can't.
Why?
Because of my ex, the one that's used my daughter against me in court. She has Christy McCoy. She put a false rape accusation against me back in November of 2018. She just went to court. She just got sentenced to 30 days because they treated it as a misdemeanor for filing a false rape accusation.
But what's that have to do with the rural?
Because
legal
Christy
service?
McCoy is the attorney over there at Rural Legal Services. I can't go to them for anything because of conflict of interest.
Have you tried a different county to see if they have a rural?
I've
legal
called so many
services
different
or-
attorneys, man. I mean, it's ridiculous.
What do you do for work?
I mean, I used to have about $8,000 a month of residual coming in before everything happened in 2017. I just got a $10,000 payout on that, and then, boom, I get freaking framed for a crime I didn't commit. I'm sitting in jail. My money, my residual income steadily dwindling. Now it's down to about $1,500 a month, and my ex takes $600 of it, and I haven't even seen my child since January. It's kidnapping. This is organized crime. It's RICO. It's got RICO written all over it.
Well, we can't help you.
I know, but I want you to know, when you see me, when I'm trying to get to the bottom of something, it's because I have a legitimate reason. You know, the freedom of the press shall not be abridged. Okay, and that's what I feel like I'm doing. You know, there have been people that have said I'm going about it the wrong way with riding with the outlaw, but I'm certain of my wrongness if I'm wrong, okay? Because I'm tired of there being...
What's riding with the outlaw?
It's the live documentary.
Oh, okay. Well, ultimately, I don't think you're going to get the answers you're looking for coming up here talking to the major as far as a 4 or 5 year old.
The major's a coward.
And it's a 4 or 5 year old case.
No, it's a 3-year-old case.
3-year-old case. However, at the end of the day,
I was also blocked from coming back to town until a few months ago. Okay,
Yeah,
so
you've been coming up here ever since.
oh, and I have every right to. I have every right to. Look what happened to me. The major is a coward. He is an absolute coward.
Well, that's your personal opinion, but it's not going to solve your problem.
All this is not.
You're going to have to get legal representation to solve your problem, because you're not going to get the answers you're looking for out of him. The case is over. I mean, it's a fact. You pled guilty to it, so, I mean, we don't sit here and reminisce on old cases and just open up the files and like, oh, look at this.
I know it's easy. It's easy for you to say because your economic opportunity wasn't destroyed. You didn't have millions of lies spread throughout the area and surrounding areas about you. You didn't have your family completely destroyed over it. All right, so yeah, that's easy to say.
If you come about it the right way,
I've tried to.
I'm pretty sure he'll love to talk to you.
No, I
If
caught
you're
him
doing
red-handed
all this,
yesterday.
If you're doing all this like you did with the last incident, nobody's going to want to talk to you like
I
that.
caught him red-handed yesterday. And that was when he told me today that he doesn't have the evidence, when he knew all along there was no evidence because I never did it. So, you know what? It's about time that people get held accountable for the crimes they commit. The system is unjust. It's unequal. The laws are applied unequally. And it's about time that shit change.
Well, Matt, honestly, it's nothing personal. If some other person came up here and said, hey, I pled guilty to a case 3 years ago, let me get that evidence.
This
We're not gonna-
area
absolutely.
this
Let me get
area
that
has
evidence.
known.
We're not
This
gonna
area
get
has
evidence.
known that they framed me. There's no doubt about it. They have known, they have played a part in it, and they have benefited from it. They have personally found benefit from it.
How?
He ought to be ashamed of himself. He used that as a publicity stunt back in May of 2017. May and June.
What was
You
the
got to look at
publicity
and then look at the dates on everything.
Publicity on it.
Look at the dates on everything. Tannehill gets elected mayor June 6th. Okay? That was exactly a week, 7 days after my bond hearing. They did that because they knew that I wouldn't be able to get in front of a judge to get my bond reduced in time to get out, to bring the
You think
information.
all the citizens of Oxford elected Mayor Tannehill.
No, she was already
to keep you
set.
locked up?
She was already set to come on. She knows, they know that they already violated the law by coming after me for constitutionally protected activity. You look at the restraining order that they took out on me back in May of 2017. The stuff listed in there,
What you have that
it's not
restraining
criminal.
order on you for? Who took
No,
it
I'm
out?
saying that was the preliminary injunction that Ray Tannehill took out representing his
Okay,
wife, Robin,
yeah.
back
That's
in...
whenever you
That was
you
when y'all-
calling him or something?
No.
Or threatening him or something?
I went and
like
met
that?
with the FBI because he was part of the problem with keeping my daughter away from me, and they also took out that emergency injunction to bar me from speaking at City Hall on June 6th, the day of her election. I was on the agenda.
No, you had
I'm
charges
listed-
brought on you about something of that nature.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
I can't remember because it's been a while.
No.
back, But you
No,
you
May
know,
1st,
something
May
go right.
1st, May 1st, Timmy Pruitt arrested me standing in front of the Confederate statue.
What was the thing about Ray?
The
Did
thing
you
about
ever hear
Ray,
that?
the thing about Ray was May 16th. I spoke out at City Hall. Pat Patterson wouldn't let me speak. He said I had to put my name on the agenda for the next meeting. I said I'm going to address this session anyways. And see, they knew that I was going to speak. They had Oxford Police Department officers sitting right beside me the whole time. I wasn't there to hurt, cause any harm to anybody, but I was addressing the government. I was petitioning the government for a redress of grievances over the state flag. And so I stood up and I said, each of y'all, and I pointed to each of the Board of Aldermen members and the mayor, and I said, each of y'all are a cultural Marxist if you choose to continue taking state funds from the state of Mississippi through tax dollars, yet refused to fly the state flag, which was voted in by the taxpayers. To me, that's a slap in the face, and a slap in the face to democracy and our constitutional republic, our way of voting, okay? The taxpayers vote for something. If you don't listen to it, if you choose to go about your own way, why are you taking taxpayer dollars? That was my issue, okay? So because I called each of them a cultural Marxist, that was what they went off of. There was a joke on that injunction order. Tannehill's over there giving a sworn affidavit saying that I went to City Hall with a gun on my hip, and that I looked at her, and that I pointed at her with a gun on my hip. It was holstered. What's wrong with that? Joke. She's an illegitimate mayor. She used what happened to me to help shield their crimes, and they still are. I mean, you look at the website, I've got, it's indisputable evidence. It's indisputable. The days, like, it's a joke. They had zero evidence for the charge they brought against me, that they made it where I could not get out, to defend myself, to show the bill of sale, all that. Wouldn't even let me speak in court at the bond hearing. Bell won't talk to me. Avent won't talk to me. Meanwhile, Bell said an accused rapist and kidnapper, guy that kidnapped and raped a girl at Ole Miss, that multiple victims have come forward, as a joke, she set his bond at $20,000. $10,000 for each charge. $10,000 for the rape, $10,000 for the kidnapping. And that was less than a year after she set my bond at $150,000. Basically saying that a patriot, a Marine Corps veteran, who kept a gun on his hip and fought for the state flag 7.5 times.
You got deployed?
No, I told you I was at a non-deployable squadron. So my squadron, we trained new pilots that came into the Marine Corps to fly the AV-8B Harrier, and they would get assigned to a gun squadron, go overseas and drop bombs on Iraq.
Well, what are you talking about you fought?
What do you mean I fought?
You said you fought for the flag.
I fought for the flag as far as the state flag of Mississippi. I advocated for the state flag of Mississippi. Because, and it's not even about that flag, it's about the will of the people. And that's the thing. It's never been about Confederate history so much. It's been about constitutional rights. I'm a constitutionalist. The will of the people.
And man, I'm not trying to be rude here. I'm just a little confused. Where exactly is your grievance? Is it the statue? Is it the flag? Is it Tannehill? Is it Major Wilson?
My grievance in general is socialism. Okay?
Well, this office, we don't have anything to do with
I understand that. I understand that, but this office played an absolutely critical part in everything. I'll tell you what happened. I know what happened. It was Buddy, okay? And unfortunately, I can't put Buddy on the stand because Buddy's gone. And that's one of the reasons why there needs to be term limits on government employees and elected officials. Because somebody that's been in office for 40-something years, okay, you can't say that he didn't have all the sway in the world.
Well, I spoke with your representative about term limits on elected officials.
No.
But that'd be the route to go. Speak with your representative, because we
But
can't.
no, it's not. But that's not the reason I'm here. The reason I'm here right now was because of Sleepy right there destroying evidence.
What evidence do you have that he destroyed evidence?
His statement to the Oxford Eagle in the newspaper article saying Major Alan Wilburn says there was no allegedly. It was, he stated that in fact. Okay, you stated in fact, you better have the evidence to back it up or else it's libel, it's slander, it's defamation, and it's under color of law, not just personally.
Okay, I haven't seen this Oxford Eagle article, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
All you got to do is just type in Matt Reardon Oxford, you know, and it's right there on the first page of Google.
Did you make it?
What?
The Oxford Eagle post.
Are you a joke?
Are you a joke?
Did I make their newspaper article?
I don't know.
I mean, think about what you're asking. you're trying to play the devil's advocate on my questions, but it doesn't even make sense what you're asking, man. Come on.
You ain't making sense to me.
I bet I'm not.
It don't make sense to me either. So you're saying a newspaper article stated that Alan Wilburn stated that you, in fact, did an alleged crime.
That I would drive by their place, so I want to know what kind of evidence he has to back the fact that I would drive by their place,
Okay.
their house. I don't even know where they live.
Well, that evidence would be available to you in the pretrial phase via a motion of discovery.
I know that,
However,
but
you pled
unfortunately,
guilty.
I was unlawfully kept in jail on a bond that would not be lowered for 6 weeks. They left me with no other option, I felt, but to plea out, to get out to provide for my family, because they would not give me a presumably innocent person, because by the Constitution, all accused are innocent until proven guilty. So you have to assume that, you know, regardless, until it's proven in court, a trial, that I'm innocent. Well, $150,000, I'd never been accused of a felony before. Never. I was not a criminal. So to keep me locked up on a $150,000 bond is morally unjustifiable.
Did you apply for a bond reduction?
Yes. And that's the thing. I need my calls from the jail. And I told Joey that yesterday. He doesn't know if they're still available or not. Go figure. Like all the recorded calls. You know, from inside of the, you know how all calls are recorded? Going out?
You might have to get an attorney.
No, I filed my own motions. I filed my own post-conviction relief. I filed my own motion of recusal, my own motion for rehearing, my own motion to compel evidence and preserve evidence. And a crooked judge wanted to call the motion to compel and preserve evidence moot.
There's no way we would release that to you anyway.
Why?
We wouldn't release that to you first. A recorded call?
My recorded calls?
I've got
I mean, I can get a subpoena. I don't need a lawyer. I file my own legal filings.
So you're your own
Go.
attorney, pretty much.
You ought to see my filings I got on file over at Circuit Court. Don't blow your mind. I just filed my motion to appeal to the Supreme Court. It was 7 pages long, and I freaking, the circuit judge, should have recused himself because of conflict of interest. He knew about all the fraud committed by Lafayette County. I sent it all in an email to his court administrator because I was looking for guidance on how to get a hearing, an evidentiary hearing. Sent it to Kathy Sturdivant. She passed it to Judge Luther. Judge Luther read through all the emails. He got back to her and said, let him know he has to go to the post-conviction relief method. So she replied to me and said, Judge Luther reviewed all your emails and said, in Mississippi, if you wish to challenge a plea or conviction, you have to do it via post-conviction relief. So I filed a post-conviction relief. I raised 6 meritorious reasons, including constitutional rights violations, that had occurred in order to seek an evidentiary hearing, to present my evidence. He denied it. It's the same judge that also denied reducing my bond. You know, I'm telling you, these people, if I didn't have the evidence to back up everything that I said, if I didn't document everything, then these people would be successful in calling me crazy. No doubt about it. The problem is, they're the crazy ones because I've got the evidence to back it all up. And they know that their walls are about to collapse if I get the Supreme Court to reverse and render on this.
All right. So what exactly do you want from the sheriff's office?
I want what the sheriff's office has been withholding from me. I want Alan Wilburn that knowingly said false statements to further destroy my reputation. I want the proof to back up his claim. If he has it, then it's not slander. It's not libel. It's not defamation. If he doesn't, he's got a problem. You cannot say that and say it under color of law about a presumably innocent person unless you have evidence to substantiate. And you know this. Y'all know this.
But the thing is, Matt, again, you should have got this during the pre-trial phase to a motion of discovery.
Once again,
And I understand. I hear you.
y'all have my head all fucked up with all this. Because I'm over there, I get blindsided by a crime that I did not nor could not have committed. In fact, there's no way I could have committed the crime. That's the crazy part.
But just think about this. Why, 3 years later, would we dig out evidence and give it to the alleged suspect of the crime? Why would we do that?
Because did you not take an oath to protect and serve, to uphold and defend the Constitution? My right as a citizen is to, everybody has the right to seek evidence, to obtain justice, to obtain vindication, especially in something like this where the proof has come out that not only am I innocent, but this has been a conspired upon plot. So why, in answer to your question, why? 3 years later, I'm within the window to overturn this. Why would y'all not have it, is the question I would turn back around on the Sheriff's Department. Why would y'all not have something? The courts are instructed that in lack of evidence, they have to look at the matter in the way that's most favorable to the one bringing the action, the motion. So if the evidence is not there, if it's been destroyed or whatever, okay?
Where are you at in terms of your, in terms of court?
Of the appeal to the Supreme Court? So I just put in the designation of record as far as what all I want. I just made the claim of prosecutorial misconduct against Mickey Mallet.
Okay. And you're waiting for the Supreme Court to get back to you, right?
The Supreme Court is either going to, well, I'm still in the phase of getting the record, approving the record before it gets, transferred to the Supreme Court. They'll either take it on themselves or they will kick it to the Court of Appeals. Regardless, what I'm really appealing right here is the fact that I was denied an evidentiary hearing. I need to have a trial. They need to undo my guilty plea because
you were
of...
given an opportunity for a trial, and you were given that opportunity. How you doing for a trial? And you pled guilty.
Don't come at me with that.
Is that not what happened?
Don't start with me on that.
You did.
I understand that, but you also know everything else around it, and exactly why. I've got a psychological report from a month and a half after I got out, where a psychiatrist, a psychologist, is saying that I pled out under fear and duress, where I was coerced. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? It's funny that somebody's fucking life gets destroyed.
I'm looking at a movie. I'm thinking about a movie. I'm sorry.
You know what movie I think about? I think about Law-Abiding Citizen.
I'm about to go home. I'm actually off.
I think about Law-Abiding
Try to
Citizen.
listen to what you're talking about, but you need to consult with your attorney. That's what you need to do.
I know
And
the
if
law.
you're your own attorney, I guess you're talking to yourself.
I am.
So, I don't know. I can't help you. I'm about to go lock my office.
Follow the steps that the Supreme Court's asking you to do, Matt, because the grievances you have, we can't address those. Now, all right.
Because I have legitimate reason to be here. That's the thing. I do. We can both agree to disagree on that.
Well, that's just my advice. I think you ought to go to the Supreme Court and address your grievances that way, because they're not going to get solved here. We're not going to go in there and pull out evidence from a case that's closed from somebody that pled guilty and bring you the evidence and say, hey, look, this is what we're going to bring to the table against you. We're not going to do that. And we don't sit here and reminisce.
So protect and serve. If I'm truly innocent, and there are, in fact, criminals that conspired against me to arrange this that I have proof of, the whole phrase protect and serve, why is it that I'm being denied, ultimately, the rights that everybody should have in making sure that the truly guilty parties are prosecuted? And the way to do that is through not obstructing it when I have the evidence that substantiates everything that I'm saying. You know, protect and serve means protect and serve.
What evidence are you talking about?
Once again, go to my website, go to the... I've got all the proof of my innocence. I've got the guy that sold me the freaking gun that's willing to testify. I bought it on May 20th because my ex sent me a text message, a lengthy text message, saying that she knew that somebody had intent on killing me. So I went and I bought an AR-15. I bought a bulletproof vest because I was ready to go full-blown militant on whoever came freaking wanting to cause harm to myself and my family, if need be. But I wouldn't engage until they, unless they actually posed a risk to me.
Again, I think you need to go through the Court of Appeals, Supreme Court, go that route, because just coming up here hooping and hollering and getting loud and calling people cowards and stuff like that.
He is a coward.
It's not going to get you the things you're looking for, Matt. I'm
well,
sorry,
he's neglecting his obligations and responsibilities that he.
We don't have an obligation or responsibility.
You do, and it's called protecting and serving.
Not to turn over evidence on a closed case to the alleged suspect.
Even if it's evidence that proves his innocence, y'all, that's not protecting and serving. I'm sorry, but if that's actually truly the case, then I guess I'm at war with society.
They would not have.
Because this is treasonous.
They would not have collected it as evidence to use against you if it was going to.
They didn't have evidence. That's what I'm trying to show here. They have not a damn thing as evidence back there.
After that motion of discovery, it would have been great during the pre-trial phase before you pled guilty.
This is just a full-blown declaration of war.
Well, like I said, Matt, I got some paperwork I got to take care of, but that's my biggest piece of advice to you. Court of Appeals, Supreme Court, go that route, and go from there, because you're really wasting your time up here. You know, if you want to report a crime, if you need extra patrol, if somebody's trying to hurt you or do anything, we're more than happy to help you out, you know. But as far as turning over evidence on a closed case, we're not going to do that. Not to the alleged suspect, not without a court order.
I'm not going to stop.
Or a subpoena. I understand. But I'm just saying, be smart about it.
I'm going to say the same thing to the sheriff's department. Be smart about it. Don't violate my constitutional rights again. Because, you know, right now, they're lucky enough to be outside of the window unless I were to... There's a couple of different ways that I can, you know, do the fraudulent concealment claim. But they violate my rights again. Trust me, I've studied up on the law. I know every single bit about the law. And I know exactly what all has been done to me from over the past 3 years. So, I mean, it would... I'm just gonna advise that you guys, you know, apply the law properly and evenly, and, you know, don't buy into any corruption that's being passed down from, even if one of your supervisors, you know, that's the thing. This town is split down the middle. So is the courts politically, but this town is split, especially its departments, its agencies, through something that I call trickle-down corruption. It's a moral dilemma, because you take an oath to protect and defend, to uphold the Constitution, but then you get put into a dilemma, whether it be something passed through the board or the mayor that you know is not right, ethically, morally, and even goes against, you know, may go against constitutional rights of citizens, but you have no choice but to do it out of fear of retaliation, of being held, you know, of it coming against you if you don't. And I'm telling you, y'all are putting yourselves in a lot bigger harm's way by, you know, if you are following unconstitutional orders that are passed down and pressured. And I know it happens every day across this country in all kinds of different agencies. That's the problem, is it's getting out of hand. And there needs to be more people like me that are willing to stand up, that don't have fear when it comes to that. Truly, my only fear is the true criminals getting away with it. Other than that, I have none. Zero.
All right, well, I got some paperwork I got to take care of. Okay? All right, Matt.
All right,
Good luck
Wade.
to you.
Good to see you.
Be safe.
Hey, man.
Hey, you gotta move that.
I'll move when I talk to Joey. Joey knows I'm out here waiting. He needs to come out and talk to me. I'll move when I talk to Joey.
Say what?
When Joey wants to talk to me, I'll move. Otherwise, I'm not breaking any law just for parking in a spot that says reserved for the sheriff's department.
One more time.
I'm here at the sheriff's department.
Move, or you will go to jail for disorderly.
I'm not being disordered.
Okay.
I'm moving my car. I'm moving my car. I was moving my car. Ah! Really? Ah! I said I was moving my car. Oh! Stop! Ah!
Mr. Reardon, did Deputy Dixon ever tell you to put your hands up?
No.
Did he ever tell you to stop?
No.
Did he ever tell you you're under arrest?
No.
I'm talking about during the confrontation in the parking lot.
I never audibly heard the command, "You're under arrest." Never heard the command to stop.
Did you audio record that interaction?
Yes, sir.
And have you provided me a copy of that recording?
Yes, sir.
All right. I'm going to play that recording for the court. I know this is just background voices and stuff. Mr. Reardon, you recognize that as a recording you took of leading up to the events on December 28th, 2020?
Yes, sir. And that honk was Deputy Tidwell locking his car after he got out.
Do you recognize whose voice that was?
That was Courtney Dixon.
Do you understand that that was a request to move your vehicle?
Yes.
Oh, when I talk to Joe. Joe? Is that your voice, Mr. Reardon?
Yes, sir.
Get up to my dear way. He needs to come out and talk to you. I'll move when I want to talk to Joey. When Joey wants to talk to me, I'll move. Otherwise, I'm not breaking any law just for parking in a spot that says reserved for the sheriff's department. I'm here at the sheriff's department. Move. Okay. I would have asked you, what did the sign say that you were parked in front of?
Reserved for Sheriff's Department.
Okay, and you just said you were there for what?
I was there to see the sheriff in regards to my daughter.
Joey East.
What you doing out here in the parking lot?
I needed to get a little Q&A with you.
I don't do Q&As.
You don't do Q&As?
No.
Oh, can you answer a few questions for me?
No, I can't.
Why were you parked in that spot?
I parked in that spot because the driver's side window was knocked out of my car. I did have a tarp there. Where I was parked, I could not hardly see when the sheriff was coming out through the rear view mirror. I couldn't see the side view mirror, and I simply wanted to speak with the sheriff because I couldn't get a response from him through email.
Why is the county not wanting to comply on the public records request? You told me.
You probably have to ask the county, man.
You told me that if I submitted it, y'all would comply. That was the last time that we spoke.
I told you we'd look at it.
And why did you think that sign didn't prohibit you from parking there?
Well, there's the jail and the sheriff's department. If I figured the sign would have said for sheriff's deputies only. It had to have said authorized for official vehicles only or for sheriff's deputies only. I would have inferred it to be that. It's saying sheriff's department, reserved for sheriff's department. I was there on what I felt was official business to address the sheriff about a redress, about a grievance.
When I talk to Joey. Joey has to come out your way. He needs to come out and talk to you. I'll move when I want to talk to Joey. When Joey wants to talk to me, I'll move. Otherwise, I'm not breaking any law just for parking in a spot that says reserved for the sheriff's department. I'm here at the sheriff's department. Move. So you go to this one. I'm not being disorderly. I'm moving my car. I'm moving my car. I'm moving my car. Matt, is that a true and accurate reporting of the events we've seen on the Sheriff's Department's video camera from the jail?
Yes, sir.
Did you hear on that Officer Dixon give you any commands to stop, put your hands up, or anything like that?
No, sir, I didn't. And
what did you know? Did you know why he was stepping towards you?
I just felt as if a aggressor was coming towards me when I was simply trying to find the answer as to how this would be disorderly when I wasn't acting in a disorderly way. So I thought that I was there to see the sheriff about my daughter.
Were you holding things in your hands?
I had my cell phones in my hands.
Listen to it one more time to see if we can. I want to talk to Joey. When Joey wants to talk to me, I'll move. Otherwise, I'm not breaking any law just for parking in a spot that says reserved for the sheriff's department. I'm here at the sheriff's department. Move. So you go to this one. I'm not being disorderly. I'm moving my car. I'm moving my car. I'm moving my car.
Have you read Mr. Dixon's report?
I have.
In there, he says that you said, in quotes, no, 3 times.
That's correct.
Did you say that?
No, sir.
Does that recording confirm that you didn't say those things?
Yes, sir.
In his report, it says, or in Tidwell's report, it says Deputy Dixon told Reardon to place his hands behind his back. Did you hear that on your recording?
Not one time.
Did you edit that recording?
No, sir.
Sheriff, is this really the position you're going to take? Why won't you even answer that? Look, hey, y'all will not respond to anything. Any email, any public records request, anything. I want to know why. I am holding our county officials accountable for this. You know I was framed. We've already had that discussion, Joey.
There's been some mention of some emails you would send to Joey. Just tell the court what you were trying to get a hold of. I'm sorry, I'm being very informal, Sheriff East. Tell the judge what you're trying to get, Sheriff East.
Well, for approximately 12 months, the 12 months leading up to that, the mother of my minor child, who was 6 at the time, I had not seen her in 12 months. She had actually, prior to that, it was a false allegation of rape that was levied against me by the mother of my child, who then decided to live out a 12-month lie that Department of Child Services.
I'm going to impose an objection. What's the relevance? We've got chancery courts in every county in this state, and not to mention Lafayette. We've got the luxury of having 2 chancellors here, and I think they'll give you an audience whatever you want as relates to child custody, child rearing, and the law, family laws, and I don't know why we've got to litigate that here, and I don't know, quite frankly, why he would be contacting the sheriff in that regard.
Your number was correct. I tried calling earlier. The deputy just got back a few minutes ago and spoke to her, saw your daughter, she's fine. Spoke to Phyllis.
Yeah.
And she stated that she was following what the child custody services were telling her, and you could not see the child, and she just waited to see what the court did.
I think if you'll let him answer the question, he'll tell you why he's contacted the sheriff. But as to relevance, there was suggestions by the sheriffs that he might have been there to ambush or do some bad. This goes to responding to that to show that his intention was not there to do any bad, but to try to enlist the law as he had been instructed by another department.
The Child Custody Services closed it out and said that she was she was making false claims. They closed everything out. They investigated it. That's incorrect.
I don't doubt anything you're saying, but that's what she told us and said, no, she did not want you over there.
I don't want to go back to Mom. I want to see you for a long time. May I stay one more night?
I was sorry for you.
Oh no, I can't.
Stop listening to you. You always won't listen.
But I miss you. I don't know when I can go home.
It's tough because you couldn't come over here for a year.
That, but to try to enlist the law as he had been instructed by another department of the state to do in order to obtain some visitation rights.
I'm going to sustain as far as I don't want to go too far down a rabbit hole of explaining any wrongdoing or what he feels, what is the reason for the issues. I'm fine with hearing why he was there.
Because it's important for you to know that here lately over the last year, one of our fundamental rights as Americans, freedom of speech, has come under attack big time. Big time. And you know what? When freedom of speech comes under attack, the only thing to fall back on is freedom of expression. Just like you with your purple glasses, okay?
It falls into his care and jurisdiction and responsibility, if you will.
That was one of your ringleaders right there.
That was one of your ringleaders right there.
Matt, did you plead guilty?
You know that y'all coerced me.
Did you plead guilty?
Y'all coerced me under stress and used my daughter.
To your knowledge, there anyone else on the out there in the parking lot when this event occurred?
No, sir.
All right. We have seen on the video when Officer Dixon kind of gets a hold of you, you kind of go into the defensive position. Tell the judge what you were doing, why you were doing that.
So in my left breast pocket, I had my digital audio recorder. I simply I wanted to retain the recording for the purposes of trial. So I simply had switched off the recording so that it saved the recording, and I wouldn't have to worry about it getting damaged or about anything worse happening to it.
What about you had your cell phones in your hands? Did you what'd you do with those?
Whenever I was taken to the ground, it was Deputy Dick. One of the phones had come out of my hand when I was tossed to the ground. The other phone, Deputy Dixon grabbed it from my hand and chunked it at the ground.
Did when the recording ends there that we just listened to, that was because you manually turned it off?
Yes, sir.
All right, so you're in your chest working on your recorder?
Yes, sir. I just do my breast pocket. I just flip the switch to turn off the recorder. That's the way it saves the recording.
That day, did you send him emails while you were sitting in the parking lot?
Yes, sir.
You want the court to see those emails?
I would like the court to see those emails. I think they're very relevant.
The emails that you sent, well, the first email, what's its date?
It was Sunday, the 27th of December. And
is that the day before this incident?
Subject, criminal conspiracy.
Is that the day before this incident?
Yes, sir.
All right. In the second email, what's its date? And give its time too, please.
Second email is Monday the 28th at 4:32 p.m.
Okay. Was that sent before or after you got to the Sheriff's Department jail parking lot?
That was before.
All right. Then the third email, what's its date time?
Third email is Monday the 28th at 5:06 p.m.
All right. Was that before or after you got to the jail Sheriff's Department parking lot?
That was after.
We asked that the recording, the audio recording, I'll have a thumb drive with it on there, be marked as Defense Exhibit 1. These be marked as cumulative.
I got an email from him earlier that day. He wanted to discuss something. I don't know all the details. I get emails from him quite often, usually on a weekly or every 2 week basis. Later that day, I got a second email from him. He wanted to see me. I came to the office. I didn't get back to the office probably 5:30. And then when I got up in Chancery Court in a board meeting, and when I came back, as I pulled in, I noticed that Matt's car was a little black hatchback-like car was parked over facing Jackson Avenue. And so I pulled in, I got out of my truck, went to the back of it, and stood there, because I was assuming he probably wanted to see me because he was sitting in a couple of emails. Stood there for a few seconds. Matt never got out. Usually he's there waiting on me if I come. So I went ahead and go inside, got in the office, and as I was sitting down, I heard a high-pitched scream. I actually assumed that there was someone being assaulted, a female being assaulted outside.
When Joey wants to talk to me, I'll move. Otherwise, I'm not breaking any law just for parking in a spot that says reserved for the Sheriff's Department. I'm here at the Sheriff's Department.
Or you will go to jail for disorder.
I'm not being disordered. I'm moving my car! I'm moving my car! I was moving my car! Ah! Really?
Ah! I thought I was moving my car! Oh! Stop! Stop!
Oh, when Ethan Tidwell asked Black Hill Soul, Matthew Reardon exited the vehicle, I said, "Man, you not park there."
Well, but when you went out there, did you know there was anybody in the vehicle?
At the time, no.
You went out there because you saw videos and was somebody actually in there?
Yes.
Yeah. So, Mr. Reardon, when you identified earlier, inside of the vehicle?
He gets out of the vehicle. I said, "Man, you not park there." He says, "I will not move my speech to the sheriff." I said, "Man, you not park there." He said, "Once again." After giving him another command, I said, "I'll tell you one last time, move the vehicle because this is a designated area of jurisdiction." He said, "I will not talk to us here. I will not move my speech to the sheriff." I said, "Put your hands behind your back. You're going to be on the rest of this one from the way." He began to run away, chanting that he needs to speak to the sheriff or things of that nature. And he was screaming it loudly as I gave chase behind him. Deputy Ethan Tidwell gave chase also. He was running sideways, so it wasn't like a long chase, but it was short. And I restrained him, took him down, and as we were trying to place him in cuffs, he was in like a fetal position, down on his knees, and so Ethan Tidwell got on his legs to hold his legs because I was kicking and screaming. Well, I tried to get my hands from under his chest because he was tight. He had his arms like he was very tense. So as I was reaching under him, I stuck up my nose. I had scratches on my nose trying to get my hands from under him from the patient. We finally got him in cuffs. I had to remove his cell phone and things up in his hand. I don't know if he had two or he may have had two cell phones. I had to remove them from his hands before we placed them in cuffs.
I'd like to move for dismissal based on the sufficiency of the evidence. The charge of disorderly conduct is 9735-7-1, which requires with an intent to provoke a breach of the peace under circumstances that may lead to a breach of the peace or which may cause a breach of the peace, the failure to comply with the lawful request or command. And subsection A is remove himself or his vehicle, which I think this would fall under. But what it's got to be is a lawful request. There's kind of been an assumption that it's against the law to park in that spot or to park on the line of the spot. We can't find somebody criminally responsible based on an assumption. Part of the state's case was to prove that that was a lawful request, and they have failed to prove it. If the disorderly conduct charge is not good, then it follows that the resisting arrest charge must be dismissed, which requires a lawful arrest. If there was no underlying offense, then the arrest can't be lawful. On top of that, even if the arrest was lawful, there's not been sufficient evidence that Mr. Reardon was obstructing or resisting by force or violence. Deputy Dixon said, I do not know if I said to put your hands up, to stop, or gave him any commands. He could not rule out the possibility that he did not. And without that, all we have is a deputy stepping towards a person who was lawfully standing in place and then moved to another place. Just like the deputy can't tell me where to conduct my examination, he cannot keep the defendant from stepping away from him. If he cannot testify beyond a reasonable doubt that he ordered him to stop, ordered him to put his hands up, ordered him that he was under arrest, then the resisting arrest charge must be dismissed, and also because the underlying disorderly conduct should be dismissed. Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm going to deny the motion for directed verdict. You ready to go forward with the defense?